When the group chief asked how long it had been, their reply was 3 hours. He remarked that the people inside looked even worse off than he did, wondering if they were still alive or if there was any food left in there. Just then, the S-rank hunter next to him commented, "What kind of drama is going on here?" He went on to say, "You have no connection left with the person inside, so what are you doing standing out here?" Their agent replied, "No, we are actually trying to recruit him." Immediately, he grabbed the agent by the throat, lifted him up, and said, "If you are trying to recruit him, then I will try to finish him off." As his own people were facing difficulties or getting hurt, his group chief stepped in, grabbed his hand, and told him to let go of the other person immediately.
A fight was about to break out between them again. Both possessed immense strength, and at that moment, there was no one around to stop them. Meanwhile, the most powerful among them was fighting alone. After killing the monster for a long time, he began to wonder how much longer he would have to keep finishing them off. Realizing that with no one else here possessing such power, he alone was the mightiest of them all. Just as he stood there, deep in thought about whether he could save his men, a man approached him from behind and began to speak. Suddenly, he heard something. Turning around, he saw that all his men had been struck down by arrows, and arrows pierced his own man's body. Then he saw the enemy sitting right in front of him, gazing at him and smiling faintly. Terrified by the sight of them, he was trying to flee, while their leader was slowly closing in on him. Meanwhile, as the man moved stealthily through the freezing cold, he noticed that all the bears had been killed. He marveled at how easily they had been killed and wondered what kind of person could possibly be capable of such a feat. He was quietly slipping away unnoticed, while outside, a fierce battle had erupted between them. There was no one capable of restraining their immense power, and the situation for the bystanders was becoming dire. They wondered how to stop the combatants, who were fighting with such intensity that the area was gradually being destroyed. Just as the situation was reaching a critical point, an agent stepped in, grabbed both their hands, and told them to stop. The agent's hand looked somewhat damaged. He remarked that their fight was pointless, to which the hunter replied, "You're right, but I am definitely going to finish him, and all of you too one day," before walking away. As he was leaving, he started threatening everyone at the agency, telling them they would never amount to anything in life. Meanwhile, inside, they were partying in great comfort and enjoying a meal. Suddenly, the hunter appeared before them. From a distance, he marveled at how such exquisite food had reached them, considering that just moments earlier they had been elsewhere, perhaps having coffee, and the suddenness of it all left him completely startled for a brief moment. Unable to bear it any longer, he glared at them and shouted loudly, demanding to know where they had gotten the food. He exclaimed that while their own situation was deteriorating, the others were sitting there enjoying themselves. He was threatening them and slowly drawing his sword as he advanced. Looking at the girl, he realized why she had left their group to join the other side. She must have had a plan. Just as he stepped forward, the protagonist came up from behind, struck him hard on the head, drove him completely into the ground, and demanded to know why they were talking so much. Everyone was completely taken aback, though the reason wasn't immediately clear, as they all stood watching. Our man also watched as the boss slowly rode up to them on horseback. Looking at them, the boss wondered where they had come from. Then he began to speak to them, asking how they had ended up there. Hearing this, our man was utterly astonished. How was it that he was speaking our language? He was thinking the girl would be startled when she saw him. She asked if he could speak their language. Then the boss introduced one of his own men, pointing him out and saying, "Here is our specialist," when suddenly, in the image, his head appeared to have become detached. Without waiting any longer, our man moved swiftly and completely severed his head from his body. The boss had been watching him for a while and asked what had happened. Then he remarked that whatever had occurred was actually for the best and promised it would be entertaining later on. Tensions flared briefly, and they were on the verge of a physical confrontation, ready to attack each other, when the boss suddenly spoke up. "Why do we need to fight? Just come over to our side. I'll take out all the men standing behind me, and there won't be any issues later.
Upon hearing the boss say this, those standing behind him were momentarily startled, and our man wondered, are you lying or telling the truth? There was no doubt about it. He was not going to hand him over to his people. He then asked the boss, who told you to kill them? When boss tried to answer, the system somehow blocked them. They were unable to give the reply, which startled him, and they kept repeating the same words over and over. The boss asked, are you going to fight us all alone? He replied, have you gone mad? When he summoned his entire shadow team and they emerged, everyone was momentarily startled, wondering where they had suddenly appeared from. It was a truly terrifying sight. Needless to say, anyone who saw them for the first time was petrified. A fierce battle broke out between them before a word could even be spoken. One side was gaining the upper hand, with combatants striking one another, some even killing their opponents, as the situation grew increasingly dire for them. The protagonist possessed immense strength, as he was able to gradually summon them from a single location and mold them. He himself held infinite power. Those standing there were scrambling to flee the area, fearing they too would be killed if they stayed. They had never witnessed a battle like this, and getting out of the way was their best option. The boss launched a series of attacks, slaughtering everyone in his path. After all, that is precisely why he is called the boss. Standing at a distance, he was trying to make sense of the situation and thinking about how much easier things would be if he had another powerful shadow soldier with him. He glanced at the A-rank hunter body lying below, but suddenly the boss began advancing toward him. Realizing there was no time left to ponder, he stepped forward to engage, and a high-speed battle ensued between them. He was struggling to counter the boss's attacks. The boss was quite powerful, and he simply couldn't manage to finish him off completely. Realizing that his current approach wouldn't work, he decided he needed a different plan. Just as the boss surged forward, empowered, someone suddenly launched a fire attack at him from a distance, and it turned out to be one of the protagonist's magicians. He was trying to understand from a distance that the firepower was a slight advantage due to the attack on him. Meanwhile, he had regained consciousness. He was still seething, wondering how anyone dared to strike him on the head like that, and was determined to kill the person responsible. As he slowly advanced with his sword raised to strike, the boss suddenly spoke up. "Why are you hesitating? Aren't you going to kill me? You've been trying to do it for quite a while, after all." At that moment, he was consumed by a fit of madness. Our man couldn't recall anything after hearing the boss's words. Suddenly, a girl called out from behind, warning him that someone was closing in fast to strike him. The boss, observing the situation from a distance, realized what was happening and said, "Look, it's not just me. Someone else is coming up behind you to attack." Just as our man wondered what to say, the entire area, his domain and its surroundings, was plunged into darkness by a looming shadow. As the area had become completely shrouded in shadow, it worked to his advantage. He then finished the other person off. Realizing that the entire scheme had been planned from the very beginning, the victim remarked, "Damn, I'm dying for no reason at all," as he withdrew into the shadows. It was unclear what the shadow was doing. The boss was rushing forward at high speed to strike it down, tauntingly asking if his strength had run out. Suddenly, a massive, powerful shadow emerged from within, attempting to hold the boss back so it could complete its task. Just as the task was finished, a new, even more powerful soldier emerged from the midst of it all. The soldier stood silently before him. The protagonist named him Iron and declared that his mission was about to begin. The boss then charged at him at high speed, but when the soldier unleashed his own skill, the boss was impressed. He remarked, "Another madman like me has arrived. I'll finish him off completely. It won't be a problem." Yet, he realized the soldier was quite powerful. The soldier had closed in on his opponent, gaining a slight advantage because he was more powerful than the others. The boss realized that finishing him off was proving difficult, as a fierce battle raged between them.
Onlookers stood at a distance, trying to make sense of the scene, thinking they had never witnessed a fight quite like this. It was impossible to tell exactly what was happening or who was striking whom. Our man weren't facing any trouble. With two powerful allies by his side, he easily launched attacks against the boss. As he activated his skills and unleashed his weapons, the boss found himself in a dire situation, lashing out wildly in a frenzy. From a distance, the boss shouted, "I won't spare you. You've gone too far." Our man kept saying, "We'll see what happens," as his opponent was becoming increasingly powerful and raining blows upon him. The boss, momentarily enraged, thought, "I'm gonna finish you off completely," and hurled his weapon straight at him.
The boss shouted, "You're letting go of your weapon? Have you lost your mind?" Yet he simultaneously used his own skill to draw the weapon back toward himself. As the weapon was advancing towards him, the weapon struck the boss's weapon and shattered. Suddenly, a soldier grabbed him tightly from behind to immobilize him. Then, his magicians arrived and unleashed their fire powers, engulfing him in flames and subduing him completely as he was consumed by the fire. The boss was still unharmed and had become completely unhinged. He was raging about how he would finish the other person off once and for all. As he advanced to deliver the fatal blow, the opponent, who had been invisible, suddenly appeared right in front of him and plunged a dagger deep into his stomach. It was evident that the boss was nearing the end of the fight. Suddenly, the boss grabbed the opponent's hand, and just as he was about to strike, a soldier attacked from behind with great force, slamming him into the ground.
The boss finally died, and as the protagonist stood watching from a distance, he thought the task hadn't seemed all that difficult. Yet, even though peace had finally settled in, they was completely taken aback by the scene. Meanwhile, his soldier kept attacking the body, so he approached him and said, "Stop it, he's dead." As he walked away, the soldier thought, "So what was that all about? I was doing everything right. There were no issues, and I was following all the rules." Others looked at him and said, "Nothing will happen to you. It will definitely happen. It will definitely happen. Go there." And the protagonist suggested turning back. But then all of them looked at the gate. "Look, the gate is opened. We can get out now." Since he had finished off the boss, they were nearly delirious with joy. Meanwhile, he thought to himself that there was still one task left, one that would be excellent if he could pull it off, having stood before the boss for so long. Meanwhile, 3 days had passed, and they had been waiting outside for a long time. The manager asked, "How long are you going to stand here? It will be a long while before they come out." Suddenly, the gate began to open, and a number of people started emerging from within. The first ones to appear looked frail and lacked strength. Observing this from a distance, the agent remarked, "It happened just as I thought. I knew they would make it out." Then the gate closed. Their leader was completely taken aback, wondering what had just happened. As they were moving forward, since the task was already complete, the chief reached out and touched the protagonist's shoulder, saying, "I need to have a word with you. Come over here." Our man brushed his hand away, telling him to keep his hands off. The chief, growing angry, gripped his shoulder firmly and declared, "I am ordering you," making it clear he wasn't asking, but demanding that he come along. Turning to face the person, he said, "Can you really force me like this? I saved your people. Instead of showing me respect, you were trying to coerce me?" The other person replied, "I'm sorry, please forgive me. I lost my temper for a moment."
"All right, let's talk later." And then he walked away. The girl was sitting there drinking coffee when the chief approached her and asked if she could tell him something about the protagonist. The girl said that after killing the boss, he screamed loudly 3 times, and his expression suddenly turned menacing, a reaction that was difficult to fathom. His agent then explained that he was actually a decent man, not inherently bad. Perhaps he had screamed because his condition had deteriorated after being confined inside for so long. The chief acknowledged this, realizing the situation. He then reflected that had he attempted anything more, the man possessed the power to finish him off in an instant. Chief then told him, "No matter the cost, I want him on our team." Upon hearing this, the agent replied, "All right, I know the kind of person he is. I haven't chosen the wrong man."